Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of First with Foremost. This is episode number 6, moving right along. As always, I'm Dustin. Andrew's with us here. It's just us two today.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, man. So, what are we going to dive into today, bud?
I don't know. I want to ask you about, let's set the stage. We went on a Guitar Center trip a couple weeks ago.
We did a band field trip.
Band field trip.
That's right, man.
I want to ask you about your purchase.
Dude, I love that thing so much. So I bought, let me actually look it up. It's a mini bass 2, but I want to make
so
sure
cool.
I get like the company right. It's a Cordoba Mini 2 bass.
Can I refer to it as the parlor bass?
The parlor bass, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Listen to this. The Mini Bass 2 is here to expand your horizons and your registers. Based on our popular travel size Mini, the Mini 2 bass is slightly bigger. How the fuck did they make one that was smaller? This thing's
I don't know.
It's a 22 and 7/8 scale.
What's the normal, 36 or something?
Yeah, or like 32, 36, something like that. It tunes perfectly to standard E, which is the thing that is like crazy.
Yeah,
to
that's
me.
what I didn't understand the whole time you were playing it. That.
Yeah. So to give someone a visual, this thing is exactly the size of like a ukulele, right? So like it's the whole thing is, I don't know, like a little fucking tiny little mini bass, like like mini me could play it and it would look like a normal bass.
Yeah.
And it's acoustic electric with a built-in tuner, and it was what, like $230 or something, like ridiculous, like super cheap for like what it actually is,
right.
In my opinion.
Right.
So yeah, we were in Guitar Center. I told Brittany, we were kind of snooping around. I'm like, 2 things I'm looking for. I'm like, 1, a mini bass, and 2, a bass 6. And they didn't have a bass 6.
I know.
So, which like really, like the mini bass was something, if they had, like, I knew that depending on how expensive it was, and like,
yeah,
if I picked it up and was like, dude, this thing's stupid, I wasn't going to get it. But like the mini bass, I was kind of like, I'm probably going to get one if they have it.
Hell yeah.
The bass 6 was kind of like, I just want to play one and see what the hell is up.
What's about.
Yeah. I'm sure I'd want one after I play one, but like, I don't know. There'd be like a lot of cool stuff we could do with that, with the band, to like fill up a lot of space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's even like Bike Ride, like that song. If I played one of those on it, like,
oh yeah,
it'd be fucking
really cool
to do that bass line and then also be able to play some chords like with you.
For sure.
Some stuff like that would be fun, but like, I think you can get a little too carried away with one of those things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're just like, are we just 2 guitar players? But right. Like with one of us has real thick strings.
Right.
But anyways, back to the mini bass. So, dude, this thing is like the perfect little, as a bass player, like, you can't just like whip out your like jazz bass on the couch and like noodle away. You can't hear anything. You know what I mean? Like an acoustic full scale basses are just like, I don't know, man. Like, unless you're
really
doing
large,
MTV Unplugged. Yeah.
Right.
Large.
Large and in charge.
Yeah. And like 2 problems with them is like, they're too loud for just like
chilling
playing
on the
by
couch
yourself
while you're watching TV.
But then the second you're playing with another acoustic guitar, they're immediately nowhere near being loud enough.
Right.
Yeah. So they're kind of like pointless as a, like an acoustic instrument.
Yeah.
But this thing is like just loud enough where like I can hear my notes perfectly, and like it sounds like a bass, and it's so small that like I was doing it the other night. Like we were just watching like live videos, and I'm just sitting there like playing along to shit on the couch. Like,
hell yeah,
dude, this is so fucking cool. So I'm so happy about that thing. I told you, but I like where our couch is in the house. I was like, we're hanging this right next to it. And Brittany's like, really? Like right there? And I'm like, yeah. Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it has earned a spot in this house, which is sick.
I love that, man. Uh, that's pretty cool though. Yeah, when you were playing it through the amp, like,
Oh yeah.
well, to preface this, I walked into the acoustic room to look at different acoustic guitars and see like
Hmm.
what I actually liked because I'm not really too sure what I like acoustic
Yeah.
wise.
Well, it's yeah.
There's
I,
so many different body styles, and I don't
woods
know.
and
I've just been
price ranges.
paying attention to electric guitars more than that. So
Yeah.
it's all new to me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like looking around and I hear you playing it and on the bench and I'm like, man, that thing is really cool.
Yeah.
And then you guys like disappear and I'm like playing that mandolin for a little bit and I put it
Yep.
down and I like go over to the guitar rack and I like hear a bass coming from the bass room and I was and Jess
Yeah.
is like, "Oh, Dustin's playing bass." And I was like, "Oh, cool." Not thinking I thought you had like a precision bass or something.
Yeah.
And like I look back and you're ripping on that little mini bass. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit." I didn't know you could plug it in at that point. I was just
Me
like
neither. It's just like this thing has a hole. I
I
wonder if
know.
a cord will go in here. I'm like, has a fucking volume knob. All right. I didn't
Where's the
even like
volume
pay
knob on the
attention.
top or like in the sound hole?
Yeah, it's like I should have just grabbed it. Yeah, it's like an acoustic electric guitar. It has a little like
Little
if
thing
you're
on the
holding it
top.
and just look, yeah, straight down, it's kind of right there.
Cool.
And it's got a built-in tuner and then a 3-band EQ
Ooh.
and then a volume knob.
That's awesome.
I'm like, okay. But yeah, I'm
Hell
like
yeah.
playing it at the store through a, whatever, probably some sort of Ampeg combo thing that was there plugged in. And I'm like, this is totally like usable tone.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if you ever needed like short scale, kind of like, I don't know, acoustic, like, I don't know what the hell it would be like the perfect bass for, but like
Right.
it's usable, man.
Our sea shanty song
Yeah. Yeah.
or something.
Exactly.
If we
Yeah.
had a sea shanty song,
The hidden track.
it's a
But
pirate's life for me.
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, I was just kind of rocking away and like, it was like, dude, this is, I mean, it played better than that P bass that I grabbed off the wall. And
Yeah, that
like,
thing was crazy looking.
yeah, so super happy about that. A rare Guitar Center find, um, randomly. But besides that, for like bass, there wasn't that much there, man.
Yeah, I was kind of, I don't know. There's so many shredder guitars, and like,
Yeah,
I get that there's a lot of people into heavy music these days, but that's not my thing. I
yeah,
don't know. So, like,
yeah,
I guess I really wasn't looking per se at electric guitars. I always look at the used section just to see what's
yeah.
there.
Same. Yeah.
But I mean, there was a really cool Telecaster I played.
I was just gonna. Yep. I was that telly was pretty awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, I have one, so it's like,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't buy anything when we went. I felt bummed out after like every acoustic I picked up that I was like, oh, this is going to be the one. And it just
Nope.
didn't. It didn't do anything. The coolest one, I think, was that Epiphone J45 that I was playing. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the inspired by Gibson one. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know why, like, but that real J45 was just sitting there.
Yeah. So you
They're
played them
usually
both
like
back to
locked
back.
up. Yeah. Back to back. And like, yeah, you can tell, right, that the Gibson's like finish and the fit and finish is like, you feel it and
Yeah.
you can tell, right, that it's not finished the same way. Better
Mm-hmm.
better finishing techniques and that kind of thing. But like for me, that I mean, I'm gonna be playing it out, so like it doesn't matter to me
Yeah.
really. Like
Exactly.
I don't know, that Epiphone one was pretty fucking awesome, I must say. I
Yeah.
I
It
also
sounded good.
just think the Guitar Center doesn't set anything up. Like
No.
there's nothing. I don't know. That's like half of the thing. It's like everyone I picked up that felt good, neck profile wise, it was just like such a dog to play.
Dude,
Or
it
like
sucks.
there
Yeah.
was a string missing or something. I don't know. It's just like
Or
what
just, yeah,
the fuck
a
does it?
total dead
Does
string, and you're
anybody
like,
even come in this room? Like I don't know.
yeah,
Like employee wise, you know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah. It's so tough, man, because like it could be like your perfect instrument, right? And you grab it off the wall and you're like, in another scenario, like you said, if someone took, 10
Yeah.
minutes to just kind of like run through, tune it real quick and like kind of check intonation, check the height, and just make sure like, is this passable or not? Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Can I pick this
Yeah.
thing up and play it?
Yeah.
And then like, I get it, man. There's 1,000 guitars on the wall. They can't like do a full setup on all of them.
Right.
But when
Yeah,
there's,
I get that too.
but like do a quick little,
Is this
quality control check on it.
playable? Right.
Yeah, exactly. I
Right.
mean, half those like the bases are so bad, dude, especially like the used stuff. Like, man, you just pick some of those up and you're like, I mean, I've bought bases from there
Yeah.
where I'm like, you look at the neck and it's totally bowed like crazy, and you're like, all right, well, let me check like, if it's visible, let me check like the truss rod, and it's totally stripped out, like mauled up. Someone was in there with like needle nose pliers or something, and then like the
Taking
one
a flathead.
yeah, this thing, what the hell's wrong with it? Just
Jesus.
stripping it out. And
Oh.
I mean, the one bass I bought there, I took it to the dude and was like, "Hey, man, no offense, but like, look at this."
Yeah.
And he's just he kind of flipped out. It was that like the older guy that does all the like the repairs and
Setups.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, he was so mad. He starts mumbling under his breath about like, no one should have even brought this damn thing in here, and how did it even get on the wall? And I'm like, it's like, dude, I would buy this, but like, I'm not paying that
Yeah.
for like, it's already bowed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if this
Mhm.
thing changes at all, like
Yeah,
it's
it's
totally done.
unplayable. Right.
Yeah, it's totally done. But like, you know, he was like, well, he's like, would you actually buy it at a discount? And I was like, let me know the discount, because I have to replace the neck on that thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
100%.
that's just what it is. And he did, man. He gave me a pretty solid deal and was just like, get this thing out of here. Like, get
That's
it out of my
awesome.
face. I don't even want to look at it. I was like, that's cool with me, man. I'll
Hell
wait
yeah.
until, I don't care if it's 2 years from now. I'll find another one that has something wrong with the body,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'll make a base out of the two of them.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. That's what's up.
But I
Like
think that's why
Leo
it's so
intended.
exactly, yeah. I think that's why it's so fun. Like, even if you go in there without like needing something, just to kind of snoop around, man, you never know what the hell you're gonna find.
Right.
That's like, at least for
Yeah,
me,
that
part of the
Telecaster, I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit, this is
dude,
like
that thing.
from 15 years ago and it
Yeah.
has no marks on it whatsoever. Like,
Oh yeah. And it was like actually priced pretty decent.
yeah, it
What was that
was
thing? It was like a
it
thousand
was a
bucks or
thousand
like,
bucks. Yeah.
yeah.
Flat 999.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah.
I mean, if I was looking for a telly, I saw you holding that and I was like, oh, that thing's pretty sweet. Like for
It
me, it was
was.
just the color of it. It was like that cherryish red.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
Yeah, I'm into it. But yeah, I don't know, man. I've been going through I so after that trip I came home and pulled out my acoustic and was just like, I don't know, man, like honestly the reason I was looking at them was because I want one that I can plug in, right? And like
Yeah.
use it as like for the band if I want to, not
Yeah.
just sitting on the couch or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I went and got new strings and cleaned up the old acoustic and it's fun to, have for the couch, but
Yeah.
it's it's not what I go to really. Like
Do you think you don't go to it just because of that specific guitar,
no,
or
it's
just
just hard
because
to
like,
acoustics are hard to play for me. Like the way
yeah,
I play. So
yeah,
if I pick up an acoustic, I'm just playing chords, like cowboy
yeah,
chords. That's it.
I gotcha.
and like I don't know, that gets boring to me after a while. So it's
Yeah,
like if I'm playing my acoustic, I'm working on like finger picking techniques or like
gotcha.
anything but just like playing a
Yeah.
song or whatever. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I feel like an acoustic guitar is like on a totally different like plane
Dude,
than like
if you're good
our
at acoustic, you're a fucking badass
exactly.
guitarist. Like
Yeah. But
period.
yeah, but also just
Those
as like
country flat pickers, man,
oh, dude,
shit is insane.
I know, man. Like yeah, it's cuz then you pick it up and you're like this is so fucking hard. How the
Mm-hmm.
fuck did they do that?
I know. I know.
But I also think that it's one of those like instruments as far like for like us for whatever reason, it's like you have one acoustic guitar. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like electrics, like no one's gonna bat an eye at like a guitar dude that's just like some guy having
A bunch of
five or
guitars.
10. Yeah, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Because like it's just even like people that don't know are just like, well, there's like you got to have your Strat, you got to have a Telly, you got to have uh a fucking Les Paul or something with a P90 or humbuckers or what or a shreddy
Yeah.
guitar. Like
Yeah.
there's just so much shit that you can have. Oh, I got to have my SG.
Right.
Like and no one's gonna care.
Right.
There's like cool, awesome,
Right.
man. Like that's that's a lot of guitars, but like
Right. But
you
if you
know,
like show somebody a room full of dreadnoughts, they're gonna be like,
yeah,
"Oh, cool.
yeah,
They all look the
exactly.
same. They're different colors, maybe."
100%. Yeah. You're just like, what is the difference between that where that one's a Taylor and that one's a Fender and that one's a Gibson? And you're
Right.
like,
Cool.
to the untrained eye, you're just like, okay, now this is
Yeah.
weird.
I played yeah. Another thing
Now,
too, man, maybe like 6 months ago I played a 70s Martin at Terry's Guitar and Stuff,
okay.
um, in Evansburg,
Yeah,
and it it set the standard in my mind now.
I
Like
gotcha.
I couldn't afford it at the time, and it's like, whatever. I don't really play acoustic, but I picked it up and played it, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh my god, dude! Like
yeah.
it was like I don't know the difference between like a brand. I know people who use like the Warren and Levi's phrase a
Mm-hmm.
lot, but to me, it felt like my acoustic guitar and every other acoustic guitar, no matter the price that I've ever picked up, feels like a brand new set of Dickies work
Yeah,
pants.
yeah, yeah,
And that Martin that I picked up was like a pair of Dickies with no holes from the 80s or something, like just
yeah,
completely worn in all the best places.
yeah, yeah,
And I don't know, man, it was just like it's gone.
yeah.
But like it's literally like that's an acoustic that like if I would have bought that one, I would have never bought another one.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing, like,
I think that's what I was
and
getting at is like,
and you can understand why people play. Somebody played the shit out of it. Like that was their.
exactly.
It wasn't beat, but it was
They
like,
just played
oh,
it.
they
Yeah,
played it. You could tell, yeah.
yeah. And I mean, that's what I was kind of getting at is like an acoustic is like you kind of find the one and you might
Right.
buy and sell a bunch of them. You know, you kind of always have one floating around and it's like, is it the one until and
Yeah.
like I would imagine like we'll have to like ask some guests in the future of this, but like, you know, I would imagine it's just like that, man. Like you just pick one up one day and it's like whatever, this glove fits, man. This
Yep.
is it, you know? And
For sure.
like
It
it
was
could
the
be a new
neck
one.
too. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. It was like a V neck, and I was like taken back
Okay.
by it when I picked it up. Like, this is like the most comfortable acoustic I've ever picked up.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I've picked up new Martins and like other older ones that are like as old as me, and like it just kind of feels like a nice acoustic guitar. I don't know,
Yeah.
not like that one that I
Yeah.
played up there. Yeah,
It's something special about, I mean, not even just acoustics, but like every guitars in general, right? Like once you get above the like the real cheap stuff, right? Like different Squires even have a different feel.
yeah,
And like it's like I'm not sure if people that don't play can understand this, but like there's something about like literally the weight, the feel, the texture, like, like you have to touch it to sell it,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
and and like, like I said, even between whatever, like pick one specific brand and style and play three of them, and they're
yeah,
wildly different. Like
yeah,
same woods, same everything, like shit, sometimes even the same exact color. Like you
yeah.
grab
Same
two and you're
model,
just like
right?
everything. And they're just, yeah, man, it's something about wood and like whatever goes into the machining process and the building process, or who knows what, but like it is, man, it's different. And it's like it's tricky to buy stuff online because then you get it and you're like, is this the one? Like
Yeah,
I've got
yeah,
no point of reference. I already bought it. It's here now. I think I kind of have to like it. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Um, so it's so, yeah, it's risky business buying guitars
Yeah,
online,
I
man.
can't ever imagine buying an acoustic sight unseen.
No, no
Like,
way.
oh my god, like
No way.
electric guitars, yeah, they make sense
Yeah.
to me. Like, because I know how to set them up, so it's like
Yeah, exactly.
whatever. As long
And
as it's not fucked up, I can
yeah,
make it play good. you know,
exactly.
and
And
like,
if it's not the one, then like cool, whatever, man. Like
yeah,
I'll just get rid of this in the future and get the right one, right?
yep,
It's fine.
exactly, exactly,
It's this is holding a spot for who knows how long until the right one comes along.
right,
But an acoustic is like, yeah, it's very different, man. That's like that's like every guitar player's baby type thing, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like cherished.
right. Yeah, I don't know.
So,
It's pretty interesting though. That's for
yeah.
sure. I don't really have a lot of friends that are that into it.
Yeah.
Carney, I've mentioned him on the podcast before. He
Mhm.
has his grandfather's J45, I believe is what it is. It's like a cherry red one from the 60s and it is fucking awesome. But
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
you can just tell like, oh, they played this like it's a family heirloom. Like
Yeah.
you pick it up and it's like that type of thing. Like, oh, that's why. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I don't know, man. Like that Martin's the only other one that I've really picked up, and it's like, oh, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. They're so weird that it's I don't know. So if you're out there listening and you're lots about acoustic guitars,
Yeah,
DM
hit us
me.
up. Hit
Yeah,
us up and let us know what the hell we should be looking for.
yeah. Come school us on the podcast about acoustics.
Dude, I would love it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
that would be fun. Yeah, it's just, I mean, a world I don't live. Like I have an acoustic that like, dude, I think the story of that is just like it got left at my like apartment at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I didn't buy it. It's here. No one's ever asked for it back. Like I don't know.
that's awesome.
It's the like $100 Fender acoustic that like everyone buys, right?
Right.
And it's fine for me
Oh,
because
bro,
I'm
I'm gonna
not.
buy that Fender pack and play Wonderwall at the beach this year.
Dude, that's the only thing that's ever been played in front of people on that thing is probably Wonderwall
Yeah.
before I got my hands on it, or the intro to like probably some Pink Floyd songs,
Or that
and
Green Day song. Another
yeah,
turning point. The
yeah,
forks hit
exactly.
the road.
Played totally wrong, out of key, not picked
Good
right.
riddance.
Good riddance, yeah.
That's funny.
But when you need it, when you need to grab it and play some stuff on it, it's there and
Yeah.
it makes the noise
Well, and
and it
that was
does
the
it.
thing. My thing is like moving forward. I mean, I've talked about it to you, but like really wanting to explore tonal
Yeah.
characteristics with our recordings.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my favorite records, I listen to them and I'm like, there's an acoustic buried in there, and it
Yeah.
like I can hear it, but not all the time, and I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
just adds a lot. And I'm like, okay, I want one that I can plug in and like,
Do that.
here's a rhythm acoustic track to blend or mix in for the mixer or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. So really, that was what set me down the rabbit hole. But I don't know. I just kind of every time I go down that rabbit hole, it's like a weekend, and I go look at them, and it's just like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Uh-huh. Well, like I said, man, it's keep going and looking at them because
Yeah, it's
one
like
day
that
they're
thing, right? It's
yeah,
gonna be the Martin thing all over again. I know,
exactly.
I
Yep.
know, and
And you're
that's
gonna be
why I
like,
keep going
yep.
at it. Right.
Um, we were watching. I was scrolling through YouTube last night, and I saw this like it was like a trailer, and it was David Burns, but like
hmm
today,
Yeah.
and I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Was it
I
him?
played it.
His current project band?
No, so some company took their um the their old live like concert
Stop
movie
making
they made.
sense.
Stop making sense.
I'm a
All
really
right.
big Talking Heads fan. I
Yeah.
like
So
went in deep.
they like upscaled it to 4K and remixed it, and it's going to be in theaters again this year,
Oh
like soon.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So I watched the trailer for that, and dude, like the trailer is fucking awesome. For anyone out there, like just go Google. It's
Hello,
just
I'd like to play a song.
yeah, and it
I
stopped making
love
sense
that movie.
2023. He goes to the opening skit is he goes to like a dry cleaner, and it's him, man, like today,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm here to pick up, and gives like this like crumpled old ticket. And the guy comes back and he's like, "This one's been here for a while."
Is it
And
the big suit?
it's the big suit, yeah.
Yes.
So of course I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome." Yeah. So we watched the whole concert. Brittany's never seen it, and like she's
Oh,
like, "All right,"
dude.
but like
It's
they
great.
open up. It's so good,
Yeah.
and like he plays acoustic guitar in that so much, and it fits in so well. And it's
Right.
like he's another one that you watch, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good, man.
Yeah.
Just makes it look so easy, and he's playing all that weird shit, and he's not getting any like fucking flubby notes and like
Right.
banging on stuff, and you're just like, oh man, he's definitely put like a
Yeah, there's
thousand
some
hours into
really,
that.
really beautiful songs that he plays in
Oh
the
yeah.
beginning of that After Psycho Killer, like
Mm-hmm.
to build it up. But
Yep.
dude, once they get to Life During Wartime, oh my
Dude.
god, it's like
Dude.
three
So
fucking
good.
Prophet 5 synthesizers going on
Yep.
at once, and David
Yep.
Byrne and everybody's dancing, and the dude's shredding guitar. I forget
Uh-huh.
what his name is, man, but he is great. The guy that plays a Strat, not the
Mm-hmm.
normal guy. It's like they're touring
Yeah.
uh an older black gentleman, but he fucking rips, dude.
Oh yeah,
Like
dude. Yeah.
he's the man. Yeah.
Oh, dude, so good. That whole thing's so good. I'm like, oh well, it was late, so I wasn't like blowing everyone up about the fucking talking heads last night. But
Right.
in my head, I'm like, dude, we're going to the movies. We're gonna go see this. Like, this is
Yeah.
gonna be fucking awesome.
I'm into it, man. I've seen that movie a bunch.
Oh yeah, dude. I was telling Brittany, I'm like, this was on 24 hours a day at like my buddy's apartment like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like you just go in and it was just, oh, that's on loop. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen it like thousands of times and probably hundreds of times the whole way through,
Dude,
you
when we
know?
got to that bridge last weekend of that new song we were making,
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
Oh yeah.
this is like the Talking Heads. Like
Yeah.
I'm having the best time ever right now. Like
Well,
total like fulfilling of the prophecy type thing, being like,
yeah.
I don't know, you like write these things and then another person just does one little thing and you're like, yes, this is like the
Yes.
Talking Heads.
Yeah. You're like, dude, at that part, can you just like boom? And then all I had in my head
Jess
was
said
like,
like Psycho Killer, Dustin.
yeah. And then I'm like, great. Now I'm like, I have to place not Psycho Killer because that's all I want to do. And I'm like trying to write and create this part.
Yeah,
And
we'll
all in
get
my
there.
head, I just want to be like, boom, 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 boom. You guys are like, no, that's not it. And I'm like, I know it's not it
It's gonna be
because
great, man.
it's going to be good, but I just want to play the fucking talking heads now.
It's gonna be good. I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk about more of that later, but yeah.
Yeah, we got band stuff to discuss in a future episode.
Band stuff. Band stuff.
Band updates. We need a one of those.
Have you
What are they called?
gotten? Do you have the YouTube Premium or something, or
I
do
do.
you see ads? So you don't see
No, I.
ads. There's
Mm-mm.
this weird one. I don't know what it's for, but it's an MTV News break. You know how
Okay.
they would do
Yeah,
that back in the
with
day?
Kurt Loder.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like came on the other day and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" I thought I was watching MTV and it's an ad.
Okay.
But it looks like the MTV News break and it is Kurt Loder, but it's him now.
Now,
I don't
yeah.
know. It's pretty cool. I don't know what it's an advertisement for, but I was like, "What the fuck is this?" It like
Nice.
caught me off guard, like I don't know. Some
Well,
sort
yeah,
of
it's nostalgia blast at you.
I don't know, man. They should really have like wasn't that the purpose of MTV2 when it came out to like be what MTV used to be? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I understand that nobody watches TV anymore, but
Yeah.
how sick would it be to have like an actual MTV station like but like a PBS type situation where it's like everywhere,
Yeah.
public broadcasting, I don't know.
There's got to be a way to recreate
Cuz
the
like
format
everybody
for
gets
some of those
PBS,
shows.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but public broadcasting, yeah.
Right.
Um I think the problem with like just someone doing it now is like obviously
Right.
the
It's the
rights to,
television.
well, it's television, but also then like playing the music. So like on YouTube,
Yeah.
like let's say you and me are
Everybody
just like, fuck it, we're gonna make our own 120 minutes, right? And
right.
we're gonna play music, but we're gonna have a hour long show and we'll edit in music videos and live stuff. Like
Mhm.
immediately because
Yeah, all
it's
the
on YouTube,
copyrighted stuff.
yeah,
Right.
we're gonna get. I mean, not that we're monetized now, but like you wouldn't get monetized for it. And I would imagine it's a shit ton of work. So like how like besides just being a passion project,
Right.
which would be insane and awesome,
Yeah.
but yeah, like who's gonna do that now?
Right.
And like you said, the MTV and like actual TV, man, like if it's not like trash reality or something right now, like nothing that gets pitched gets picked up anymore. You know, I mean, it would make sense. Like, I guess Netflix or someone like that, Prime Video, would like potentially be able
Well,
to
that's what I'm
afford to
saying.
do something like that.
Like a Netflix show that's like
Yeah, a weekly Netflix, whatever.
yeah, even
Um,
like dude, we put on Alternative Nation all the time and like 120 minutes. There's a treasure trove of old stuff
oh yeah, man.
on YouTube from like back in the
Yeah,
day.
the old
And
stuff.
it's like a fucking treasure trove. A lot of it people edit together so there's like no bullshit in between.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
like
I've
I
seen
don't know,
those.
just like the interview plus the music video plus maybe a live performance, like
Hmm.
that shit is so cool. And like
Oh yeah,
it's just like a bygone era, man. I don't know, something that I just like
yeah. It's
nostalgia longing for or
well,
whatever.
dude, like a time capsule. Like that's how you found new music.
Yeah,
First of all, you had two ways of doing it. Realist. Well, two real ways was like shows like 120 minutes and like whatever fucking like Ricky Rackman show or whatever it was, like the ones where like you have these, I don't know what you want to call them, like they're
Headbangers
like the
Ball,
headbangers ball, but like the I I want to say influencer, but like that's today's
the
term for
VJ.
what they, yeah, like
Isn't that what they were called? Yeah,
they were VJs, video jockeys, but my dumbass can't think of the word. Um,
they're
but anyways,
VJs.
yeah, like they would, like I'm sure like Matt Pinfield had some say in what bands he was going to put on his show, right? So like he was cultivating this like, dude, this band fucking rules, and I want to give him a chance, and
Yeah,
I think my friends and everyone else should hear about Alice in Chains, right?
right.
That's how you found out about Alice in Chains back in the day. Like where else were you going to do it? Because the radio wasn't going to play it until like they became famous, right?
Right.
College radio was literally like stores you could buy it, or like albums and stuff that you could buy at a record store, and like they would play some like whatever, some local stuff, or like bands would give them demos and shit and they'd play it and you could hear new music there. Or like you had to live in a town that had a fucking decent record store,
Right.
and we didn't. We had like, I mean, we had like National Record Mart or like the wall music or whatever it was, right? Like in the
Yeah.
mall.
Yep.
But like those weren't like locally owned. Like that's not
Yeah, it's
the
like
record
the
shop from
the
High
FYE of
Fidelity.
the time. Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I
not
don't
like,
know if there's any record shop like High Fidelity.
well, yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like where you'd go in and there'd be like, I mean, Pittsburgh's had them, like the Attic, and
Oh,
I
dude,
mean, I
the
guess,
Attic is wonderful. I love that
yeah,
place.
and even like George's Song Shop like was, but like that's never what like he was into. Like he was always into his own shit. But
Yeah.
and like just selling his millions of vinyls that he has sitting around that he doesn't even know what he has. Um, but like that's what I'm saying is like you would have to like go into a store and be like, yo, what's good this week? Like get to know the people that are there and like like, oh, what are the employees listening to? Or you had someone like those TV shows where like late at night they would let them play new shit and
Yeah.
weird shit.
Yeah.
And like, dude, like talk to any of us, like anyone we've interviewed and anyone we will interview, I guarantee like they all know about that shit. If they're of an age, they all watched it and like it meant something. Like you stayed up to like hear that new shit.
Yeah.
Um, and now it's just up to you. Like it's up to the algorithms
Yeah.
to play stuff.
They
And
they might like or whatever.
yeah.
Right.
And it's like it's a very like, I don't know, sanitized like third hand version of like that. Like no one's telling you like, hey dude, like that guitar player that left this band started this thing. So if you liked any of that, like,
You might
dude,
like
I'm telling
this.
you, this is going to be way better. It's just Spotify playing, something that's whatever linked in some way or form to the song you were just playing, right?
Right.
And which you can find new music that way, but like it's almost like a surprise. You're like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, and then nothing about it. You're just like looking at a thing on your phone of like what the hell the band artwork looks like, um, rather than like having someone tell you about it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think if there's a way to do it, man, that would be awesome because I would totally watch that.
I mean, it'd
And
be
maybe
just
there is, and someone's screaming at the freaking internet
yeah.
right now, like you fucking morons.
You
And so,
morons. There is a PBS program in every
yeah,
city.
exactly. Send us the link, man. We'll check
Yeah.
it out
I
and
want to
we'll
be on
talk about it.
PBS.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't even get PBS, but I'll be on there.
Me either, man. We don't have cable.
No, exactly.
That's awesome. So
But
yeah, I don't know, man. I've been eyeing up some new pedals.
all right.
The tonal shift of the new songs kind of making me look for a different distortion,
Yeah.
making me think that I just might just go back to stacking overdrives like I used to. I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with stacking overdrives, man.
I know. And it's like tried and true and it's what I did for years, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. We'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
gotta get
like what's the tone that's missing that you can't get right now?
mm, you mean like why am I looking for another one or
Yeah. Yeah. Like when you're like, this part needs this.
well, and
What
that's the
like,
thing. I'm sure that I could like tweak that pedal and like
yeah,
turn all the gain like almost
way
off,
off. Yeah.
way off, right? But it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's just
What's
like
the point of that?
what's the point of that? Yeah, it's like I don't know. But yeah,
I gotcha.
I just kind of feel like there's not enough. I need something with like an edge more than breakup, right? More than just
Mm-hmm.
like the overdrive breakup that I get,
Yeah.
but less than that uh at plus or whatever the
Yeah.
hell
I
it's called.
gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Angry Charlie plus is what
Plus, yeah.
I pretty much look at it as.
We need an Angry Charlie negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the Charlie Brown, which
Yeah.
and I didn't even think of that, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just need something a little more clarity, a little less distortion, suppose. So yeah,
Gotcha. All right.
so I'm kind of going on that right now. It's
The
like,
rabbit hole begins.
well, that's the thing too. Is like, oh, I looked at that pedal last night and I was like, holy shit, this is like a $250 pedal new. Like,
Yeah, I know, man.
I could just sell this and get a couple pedals.
Yeah.
Like, oh, DOD's back. Cool. Let me buy two of these with this, sell this one and buy two. So
Yeah, man.
yeah, I don't know. But that's another thing. Is like going down that rabbit hole again is fun, but at the same time, it was so nice to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna buy a pedal on a whim because I don't need it
Mhm.
as like a utility tool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah, or just
it was
experiment, like
nice
fuck it.
to have my board and then be like, oh yeah, I want to
Mhm.
try a wah wah, or like I want to try a flange or something that like I don't need necessarily as like a
Exactly. Yeah.
tool, a main tool, right? Just
Yep.
like a fun pedal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I miss being in that spot already, and it's only been like a week and a half of me being like, oh, I think I need to figure out my distorted sound a little better for these new songs.
Yeah, and
So
mentally, I don't know if you're the same way as me, but like when your shit doesn't sound exactly the way, maybe not exactly, but like when your stuff doesn't sound how you want it to, it like takes up bandwidth away from like playing,
anything else?
writing,
Yep.
yeah, any of the like whatever kind of, I don't know, um whatever you're going through. If you're trying to write a song, like
Right.
it takes away from that like magical moment of just being there with your guitar, like because you're thinking about it, which
Mm-hmm.
sucks. So
Right.
if anyone asks like, why the fuck are you guys always like, dude, guitar sounds like guitar. No, it doesn't.
Right.
To
Right.
us it doesn't, you know.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like I want to find that like sweet spot
Yeah.
of like this is an overdrive sound, but this could be a distortion as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
though? Like not a
D-
boost, but like I
mm-hmm.
don't know.
Yeah,
So
100%,
we'll
man. I
see.
mean, that's a tone that like I'm always chasing too, is like on bass, trying to like layer and stack overdrives and distortions to have like different gain stages like a guitar is really fucking tough
Right.
because you're mixing like different circuits together, and it, I almost feel like you need to have like completely separate loops to do that, which makes things even more complicated. Cause like with bass, like guitar, there's like some known, like, you send a blues breaker circuit into a clon or the other way around, or a rat into something. And it's like, it just works, right? Like it's known tones that people have used. So like to the ear, you're like, oh yeah, that's that thing. Cool. That's awesome. I'll use that. But with bass, I don't know. It like you can definitely stack stuff, and there's just seems like there's so much more going on. Like the pedals affect each other so much differently.
Well, that's what
Um,
I was gonna say. It almost seems like some bass pedals take away from the tone.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
so weird and wild.
mm-hmm. Or like one pedal you'll have that if you hit that pedal first is very like like it goes by feel, like the harder you dig in the more it breaks up. If you play lightly it doesn't, but then you add something after it and all that goes away. Or if that pedal goes after something, it doesn't do that. So like you just got to experiment so much with this stuff to like be able to be like, okay, this is my like clean tone. This is if I want to step it up a notch. Like going holy shit into like fuzzes and like real thick distortion is kind of like that's easy, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
once you get to that level, like kind of doesn't fucking matter what's in front of it. It does, but you're not worried about how touch sensitive the breakup is on it, because it's just you're like
It's ripping
you're
your
shredding
face
people.
off anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly. Um, but yeah, man, it's that light breakup tone that every guitar player and every bass player is looking for. That
Yeah,
perfect, like
the sweet spot.
crunchy sweet spot, man. And it sucks because our ears get used to it, you know,
Yeah,
even our own stuff. Like that's why you can walk away from playing bass for 3 days, go back down, and like it's not like plugging that pedal in for the first time might be that sweet spot,
yeah.
but like
Well, and that's
you
kind of
get
the
real
thing, man.
used to
Is
it.
it's almost like now that I'm singing less.
Hmm.
I feel like that pedal was great when I was singing a lot because like I wasn't really able to focus if I was playing everything perfectly on the guitar, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
now that I'm
exactly.
like really trying to like use that as my voice as well,
Hmm.
like I don't know, it's too much. Maybe for solos, but at
Yeah.
that point it's like, well, I was just like, I have a fucking big muff for a reason.
Hmm.
Like I don't
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
At that point, like it's not doing what I want it to regularly, and
right?
there's better pedals to do a solo thing. So
And I
like
don't need to sound like Pennywise anymore.
exactly.
Like
Yeah. So okay, like hey man, sometimes those pedals just run their course on a board, man.
right, right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
On to
So
something else.
I don't know. It's a good pedal, but I think I'm gonna sell it because
Yeah.
I never really used the boost on it anyway. I mean, it sounds great, man. It's just
It
like
does.
because I was singing so much, I never hit the boost because I was afraid to hit it. So I'd
Hmm.
hit it with my left foot, so I would make sure I wouldn't hit that boost. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know
Blow shit out of
if
proportion.
I want that sound, I can just plug into my PV or get another one button Angry Charlie. Like,
Yeah. You got room on the board. You
yeah.
can add another one.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get a distortion pedal or just stack the Klon in the Morning Glory like I used to. It sounds
Dude,
so good.
it does.
It's like tried and true. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you have like a clone
Yeah,
in your arsenal right now? Which one do you have? Is it the Tumnus? Ah, oh yeah, the soul food.
yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah.
So food. What up,
The
Mike
only
Matthews?
yeah, dude. Mike Matthews, a base soul food is on my board right
I
now in my
noticed that at practice. What's that
in my
about?
experiment spot because that's the one I keep around as my like uh I don't whatever you want to call it, like going back to ground zero, right?
Right.
Like I know this thing works.
Right.
There's reasons why it doesn't stay on the board,
Right.
and I don't know if it's my specific pedal, but like that hard click and
Yep.
it
Oh,
pops when you click
dude,
it.
there's a thing inside of it. Do you know that?
Yes.
Okay. When I did that
Um
to mine, it stopped doing that.
okay. I gotta mess with mine, but like again,
I don't know what it's called, a buffer switch or something. I
yeah.
used that pedal for fucking years with that pop. And I was just
Yeah.
like, whatever, the tones are worth it, man.
Yeah,
Just keep it
exactly.
on all the time so
I
nobody
don't
hears the
care.
pop.
Well, that's what I end up doing.
And then
But yeah.
I like, right before I stopped using it, I was like, all right, motherfucker, I'm figuring you out. And
Yeah.
I like looked at it and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I like typed in, like, what is this switch by my switch inside of my soul food? And they're like,
What's my switch in my switch?
the first thing that came up was like, do you want your soul food not to pop? Hit this switch and it'll stop or something. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, what is that actually called? Is I mean there's like internal trim pots, but that's not I don't think that's what we're talking about,
No,
right?
it's like a buffered switch, something.
Oh, true bypass or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
It
know because
I
it
gotcha. Yep, that's definitely what it
something
is.
builds up maybe
Mm-hmm.
signal
All right.
or electricity. I don't fucking know. I'm not a
Uh
pedal guru.
well, so
Everybody look
yes,
at it. It's beautiful.
it is beautiful and it's cheap and don't ever get rid of that because if fucking JHS show ever makes a fucking episode about it, they're going to be expensive.
I know.
Although probably not because there are literally hundreds of
Oh
thousands of
man,
those.
where's that big fucking thing? Hold on a second.
Yeah. But so I go back to the base soul food because it's cheap, it's easy, and it is always within 10% of like the actual tone that I'm chasing. Right.
Right.
Um, I, I think if people were still modding them and I really wanted to, I could send that thing away to get like whatever like
Yeah.
JHS used to do mods, and there's still people that do. I mean, you can buy kits and do it yourself,
Right.
and that's cool. I just haven't done it yet. But like that's always like okay, so I've been playing this pedal for whatever, let's say a month or so. I go back to the base soul food to be like, have I actually gone backwards? Like, do I like this better?
Better. Right.
And dude, so many times I'm like,
Yes.
I
Yep.
do. So fuck that other pedal. I'm getting rid of it. Like,
Right.
or just maybe I'm not getting rid of it, but like it's just not doing that thing that I want it to do, right?
Dude, the JHS show effect on the pedal pricing.
It's crazy. Oh, that dude, I remember that thing, the Tube Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing went up crazy in price after that show. It's back down. I just saw one for a normal used price or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't plugged this thing in forever. It probably needs some help. It might be cool to get like something weird to put in this housing because I'm pretty sure the last time I turned it on, it didn't make any noise. I mean, there's a fucking tube in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's like that used to be a thing and it went away and now it's coming back,
right.
especially in the bass world. Like there's all these little
Tubes and
boutique
pedals.
companies, yeah, that are just putting tubes and pedals. I mean, there's like bass preamps. All it is just a fucking tube in there. There's no volume. There's no on and off switch. It just runs it through a fucking tube.
Huh.
Um, because people like, they want that warmth, man.
Right.
They want that tube warmth through all their digital shit. Okay. I mean,
Dude, I
I have a
want that
DI right
warmth in
here.
my cab sim, bro.
Yeah, I have a like when I plug into my shit here to play, my DI has a fucking tube in it. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it's just
awesome.
it happened to be the one that I wanted and before all the crazy shit with tubes, but like I can switch it between pure or like a JFET signal with the tube or without it, blah blah blah. But like, it I don't know. It definitely does something, man. It gives you that like
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like home kind of thing. You're like, this just feels a little bit more like what I'm used to
No,
when it goes through
for
one of
sure.
those,
For sure.
especially with bass. On
Well, that
guitar,
was the thing. I got that because I was playing solid state amps
yeah,
back in the day.
yep,
And I was like, okay, I don't understand. This is before I was hanging out with Carney and like playing through real amps. And
yeah.
I was just like, what is this about? And then somebody suggested that thing to me and I'm like, oh, cool. And I tried it and it's made it sound way better.
Way better. Yeah,
Yeah, shitty solid state amp and it was,
yeah.
but then like when I got into tube amps then it was just I don't know, it didn't sound the best through it. So I just went to straight up overdrive city.
So Fender, speaking of tubes, Fender just came out with a bass combo amp that's all tube.
Ooh,
And like it's the complete opposite of like what everyone is doing right now. And I mean, it's like I don't know, like I think they're going for that old, like after the old, like the Ampeg B15 that everyone chases after, like they
yeah,
haven't made in forever.
yeah,
What like 90% of bass that you listen to on the radio is recorded through.
right.
And like you just, there's stories of like, I found one in a fucking pawn shop in Kansas. And you're like, good for you, man. Like there's people that have been looking their whole lives for one of those.
Right,
But I think that's what they're like going for. That's like all tube. There's two separate inputs and you can like select between them. And it's like, I hope more of that shit comes out because that's awesome. Because someone like Fender is going to do it and actually make it like not crazy expensive,
right.
right? Like I
Accessible.
don't exactly. I have no clue how much that thing costs. I'm assuming it's a couple $1,000s, right?
Right,
And rightfully so. I mean, it's a 15-inch speaker in a combo thing with an amp and all those tubes, but you can get a Noble DI, which is literally just a box that has a DI signal, uh, treble, bass, volume. That's it, and they're $1,000, and it's one tube in there.
right,
Now, like that's the Nashville sound, and that's what everyone plays. Like if you're like a studio bass player right now, but like that's $1,000, or for double that, I can get like a whole combo that like, dude, that's my recording setup.
right.
And like, it's new, it's going to be under fucking warranty,
Yep,
like, which is insane.
yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's like, that's not something I'm looking for specifically, like,
No,
but like, if you were a fucking, if anyone out there is like, dude, like that's kind of what I want to do. Like I want to like be a recording bass player or whatever, or like I record shit for people on Fiverr or whatever the fuck it is, man. Like that's awesome. that's
Yeah.
even in existence right now and being made. Super cool.
Right.
So shout out to Fender for that.
Yeah, I just love Fender, man. I love everything they do. It's
I,
really I literally haven't, even all of their weird parallel series guitars. I
mm-hmm.
really haven't seen one that I can't stand. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very strange.
They got a lot of the shapes right for
Mhm.
instruments,
For
like
sure.
from square one, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
right off the bat, it was like, yeah, that's what it should look like.
For sure. I don't
You
know.
know?
To me, it's crazy that like it's almost 100 years. In 20 years, it'll be 100 years since the
Mm-hmm.
inception of a fucking Telecaster. Like,
Yeah.
we're all still playing them like they're brand new. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are brand new. They still make them. They've never stopped making it.
Exactly.
That isn't
And
that
it's
crazy? That's like
and you
the
look at it and like me personally, I mean that's my favorite looking guitar. Like that's the only electric I have because it's like that's my jam.
mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can change. Like I don't change a fucking thing about it. I love it.
Nope.
Change the colors, maybe
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so throw a couple weird different pickup configurations in there, I guess. But like at the end of the day, that's like
Well, and that's the thing too, man, is like I was playing my Jazzmaster the other day and I was like, man, this thing is the way it feels, like the offset
mhm,
body.
yeah,
You can totally look at all the Fender guitars and see like the the
progression.
progression, yeah, the progression,
Yeah,
sorry, or like evolution I was gonna say, but like the
yeah,
progression of like the key specs. It's like, oh, the offset thing is literally
mhm,
so that it's comfortable sitting down. Like,
yep, yeah,
and like I don't know, you can it's just fascinating to me, like that he made these guitars literally like, oh, when the neck wears out, throw it away. That was literally his logic, was
yeah,
throw the fucking neck away and bolt another one on. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's such like a I don't know. Leo is fascinating. I would really like to pick somebody's brain that was like knowledgeable on that. Do you
Yeah.
follow the GNL page on Instagram at all?
I don't
I
think
don't know if
so.
it's GNL proper, but it's like the CLF research. It's like uh, Clarence Leo Fender or something. It's where he made all the Music Man Stingray
Yeah,
designs and
yeah.
like all the GNL early stuff. Uh,
Yep.
Whoever owns the GNL place in, I don't know where at in California it is, but there's like Leo's bench and shit still in there. It's fucking insane. I think it's Fullerton, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, Leo's bench is like still in there. It's insane. Like, but they post a bunch of cool stuff on Instagram, but I don't know. Anyway, it would just be cool to pick somebody that was like really knowledgeable about that kind of shit.
It
Pick
is Fullerton, California.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have I'm on their website right now. They have like recreate Leo's bench. And it's like it looks like you can like get instructions on how to build a recreation or a recreation of his bench you're talking about, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, recreating Leo's shop bench is part 1. Part 2. Fuck, that's awesome, dude. It's on YouTube.
I have to check
I'm
that
gonna
out. I
I'm
just thought
checking
it
that
was
out.
cool that like his
Yeah.
bench was still there. Like
Yeah.
that's where he moved to after he left Fender, and it's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. But like it's almost like at some point it's gonna have to be like a historical
A museum or something.
museum
Yeah.
or something. Like they're still running business out of there, but like at
Yeah.
some point, you know what I mean? Like that shit's gotta go. Cause I don't know, man. Like the fact, just think about the significance of like that guy and like just the Fender guitar. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's wild, really wild,
Oh, 100%. I mean, totally rewrote
revolutionary,
history.
musically
Yeah.
revolutionary for sure.
Yep. And
Super
just seemed
intriguing.
like so meticulous, but also like would listen to feedback
Yeah.
from like people playing, right? Like that's why the things changed
Enter the
and like
Stratocaster.
yeah, absolutely. Like even all the basses, like the reason the Music Man and all these things were because of like ongoing changing demands by like musicians, right?
Musicians,
Like,
right?
and him being like, huh, you're doing what with it?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. And then like, well, let me try and like actually build something purposely built to like eliminate that problem.
right.
And then like, I mean, obviously he went through like shit tons of iterations of all these things that like we don't see,
Yeah.
right? Like the like, you know, but like when he would come out with it, you're just like, fuck, all those things are on shelves of guitar stores right now and they haven't fucking changed at all
Hmm.
from
Dude, you know what's cool too is like the P bass, right? Like it's
mhm.
had like 2 design changes its whole life. That's fucking
Yeah.
insane, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
oh man, it's just wild. Have you ever played one of those, the Telecaster basses that's not a mic turn?
Mm-mm.
The original, do you know what I'm talking about? The original
Yeah,
P bass? It's like they
yeah, with
call it the
the single
Telecast.
coil.
Yep, they call it
Yeah.
like the Telecaster bass now.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Oh, you know what?
Music
I
Haven
have played
has
one.
one right now.
I I did play
It's
one.
like Mary Kay White.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
there's a guitar shop in Mount Lebanon that had a Fender custom shop,
Ooh.
like a new Fender custom shop one. And like, dude, honestly, that thing wasn't like, it was fucking expensive,
Yeah.
and it was like road worn and all that, and it was so cool looking that I was like, can I play that? And they were like, yeah, dude. It's like, okay.
Sweet.
They're sweet, and it's definitely like a sick, cool vintage tone to it. But it was one of those things where it's like,
That you see why the
I,
evolution happened.
I see why the evolution happened. It's not the most comfortable thing to play
Right.
because it's not, the whole thing's like, it doesn't have that, the cove carved out
It's
for
like
your
the
arm to
telly.
lay
Yeah,
on.
it's like the telly.
Yeah,
It's a slab.
exactly.
Right.
And it's so much bigger, but also just like for me, that was like it, like we were talking about with the acoustic things. I'm like, dude, that's so cool looking, but like that's just not mine.
Right.
Like maybe one day
Yeah.
we'll get there,
Yeah.
but like for right now, I got enough shit.
I was just curious. I've never played one.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were like, oh, this is just a P bass with a telly headstock.
Uh so that yeah, the headstock definitely is like the first thing you see, but like I mean those ones were, I mean, so like all they did was, the reason it's called a precision is because it was fretted. That was
Right.
it. Like
Right.
they took the general, like, okay,
Bass.
people were playing upright bass
Right. And
and they're
applied the
trying to like,
electric Spanish model to
yep,
it.
exactly. So they were like, okay, well let's shrink it down so they can plug it into something, and let's make it precision so that like the new way they're gonna have to play it. He thought they were gonna
It's
like
so crazy, man.
play it upright.
Upright. Right.
Yeah, and like that's why those older ones still have
Stand.
that little yeah, the little sits, because he thought you were gonna rest your finger there and pluck
Yeah.
it with your thumb.
Right.
And and then like it made a bunch of noise because of the single coil, so they did the little split
Oh, dude.
P pickup, and that was it.
I just realized you saying that, and not the I said stand because I thought of it initially, but the Gibson EBOs, you know the
Hmm.
ones that look like a violin, they have like the violin
Yeah,
shape.
yeah,
They
yeah,
had a fucking stand that
yeah.
twisted into the bottom so that you could play it
Uh-huh.
upper. I never knew any of that shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's so cool. But yeah, man, I
Like
don't know. I think we freaking got some fun
we
gear ahead of us.
it's well, that's the fun part about being a musician, man. It's always changing. You're always chasing down that rabbit hole of like, the immaculate tone. And then like different like thoughts on chasing that tone. Like, do I want to change my tone for every song, for every part of a song? Do I just set a tone for an album? Like, it's endless, man.
Right.
It's
Right.
endless. And you can get a little too carried away. And like, I think we like, that's the fun part of it, is getting carried away. And then also like being able to reel it in for like a board that you're going to take to a show
Right.
and be like, all
Well, and
right.
that's really my thought process is like my board is my tool bag, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And that's why there's like the fun space.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, oh, let's throw something fun in there.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, when you start researching this stuff, it's inevitable. Anyone that's done it is going to find a forum and they're going to find pictures of spaceship pedal boards,
yeah,
right? With every single thing. And they can be like everywhere from like, dude, that looks like a rat's nest of just like 100 pedals plugged in together. Like, how do you do that? To the most meticulous, clean, custom wires. Like it looks, dude, it's like
insane.
it's aesthetically pleasing to just look at a pedal board with all that shit on it. You're like, whoa,
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then you're like, how much does that weigh? How much like noise does that make? Because like again, man, you're on a forum, you're just looking at pictures of stuff. Like you don't
yeah.
know how it fucking sounds.
Sounds right.
Um, exactly. So, being it like
Is there even power to those in that photo?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. What is that doing? Because those knobs look like they're real weird looking right now. Like that was put on there and then bumped and hasn't been turned on in 5 years,
They're all down and off.
Ah, yeah, screw it. But yeah, man, like I don't know. I think it's fun to mess with this stuff. Like, and I, we could have 18 more episodes, and I'd still have stuff to talk about
Me
like
too.
theories about like why I do this, why I do that. But like, it's also cool to like. So I like even the size of my pedal board, like I could have gotten the biggest one there, or like even a size more than I have. But it was like I think it's also fun to try and cram like
What you
exactly what I
can.
need into that
Yep.
and have it be like like in my opinion the right size. Like I think mine's probably the same real estate as yours. Yours might be a little bit bigger, but like mine's
Maybe.
wider and skin like and not as tall, and yours is like kind of more square shaped,
Right.
where
Mine's a
mine's like a rectangle.
pedal train classic or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I have a rock board. I don't know. It's like their numbering system makes it's absolutely no
No
sense. But
sense.
anyways,
Yeah.
um, it was just like, well, dude, if it doesn't fit on here, I either don't need it or I got to get rid of something else,
Yep.
And that's what's super fun for me is like always messing around with that shit. Like, is this better? Is it worse? And getting to experiment and I don't know, just generally like test yourself to see like the fuck
Yeah.
do I definitely need?
Right.
What like what's overboard and what's not?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So
Oh, pedals. I love
I know.
you.
Stupid expensive little boxes of
You.
things I don't understand.
I love to obsess over you, pedals.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. Oh man. That's we were group chatting earlier and someone was asking about video games. And I'm like, dude, I can't afford. I
Yeah.
can't afford
Another
time,
hobby.
time or money wise, another hobby. Like the time definitely not. And like money,
Right.
whatever. But like, oh my God, no. Cause it's just I can't imagine more on my plate of
I
like
know.
hobbies of shit like this.
More in the bandwidth, man.
Yeah,
More things to
exactly.
think about.
Distractions, shiny things, get them out of here.
Yep.
I want like horse blinders.
That's awesome.
But all right, so you're getting an overdrive, and then we didn't even talk about it yet, but you're asking me about compression pedals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I know what I want. I think.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I don't know. There's 1,000 of them.
I know what I want.
Well, it's
I
really
know
like
what I want.
I'm just gonna buy a Dynacomp.
Yeah.
Just get it over with. Because
Yeah.
like I'm like looking at all these ones and they're like, oh, the blend knob is the standard these days. And I'm just
You
like,
don't need it. You don't
I'm
need it for
gonna
guitar.
leave it on the whole fucking time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Set it and forget it, man.
Yeah, that's really what I want it for. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I
Yeah.
want to play cleaner and like I don't know.
Yeah. I think you'd be fine with the Dynacomp.
I have this one. This is like I don't know what era, but it has this weird uh the plug for it, the 9-volt plug almost looks like an end to like earbuds or something, like the old earbud ends.
Okay.
It's so strange. I don't know when it's from. I think the 90s I read that if it has that thing it's like a 90s, early 90s or something. I don't know. It's just very strange. But I got this years ago, and I don't know, man. It's just really noisy.
Yeah,
There's something up with it. Yeah, I'm sure
gotcha.
that fucking power supply thing doesn't help.
Well,
So I
yeah,
don't know.
someone probably tried to shove the wrong thing in
I
there at
have
some
that.
point
I have
and
a
sent
set.
some juice to it.
Yeah, I have that distortion plus I found in the box from the 70s.
Hmm.
Uh, so I don't know. Just have a little MXR collection, I guess.
Yeah,
But
they look good.
I'll probably just buy another Dynacomp, to be honest with you. I just
Yeah,
want something that's like, I don't know, not fucking noisy, and I know they are, but if I leave
yeah,
it on all the time, it doesn't matter. Like I don't,
yeah.
whatever. So
Uh,
yeah,
Compression pedal on guitar is a totally different world than bass as
bass,
well.
right,
So yeah, I mean, we're like, yes, they do the same thing on paper, but like
right.
we're trying to get different things
Different
out of them.
sounds, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So, um, yeah, on bass, it's like there's kind of three that everyone uses, whereas guitar, it's kind of like
There's so
how
many, man.
there's so many, and how nerdy do you want to get, and what do you want to do? Like, are
What do
you
you want to
using it as
pay?
like, yeah, what do you want to pay?
Yep,
Why are you paying that?
right.
Like, why is one $80 and is on boards of
Every
like,
pro ever.
yep, pro musicians touring right now, and then there's ones that are $350 that you don't see on
Hmm.
pro boards, and you're like, well, what, like, who's using that?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it can get wild. I got lucky with mine. Again, man, Guitar Center fine used. There was a Cali 76 compact bass there for like not inflated price.
Hell
And I
yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, like this is why I do this. Like, fuck yeah, this is coming home with me. you know?
Hell yeah.
And I don't have it here. I was using like the TC Electronics Spectre Comp,
Hmm.
which is another great like compressor. But that's again, man, you can get nerdy because then you go into their like tone, whatever the tone factory that they call, like you can download different, like essentially different settings and pedals into it.
Jesus.
Yeah. And
Into the
but I like
compressor?
into the yeah,
Jesus.
tone prints. So like they have their tone print thing, which is a kind of like the same thing Source Audio has. Like you could go in and custom create your own like parameters for all these things within that. And which I kind of like dove into and always sounded like shittier than like just the
The
one that it
stock
came with,
setting.
the stock one at like, I don't know, man, like fucking 10 o'clock was always just like perfect, there we go. But that Cali 76, um it just, dude, it's so good for like what I want. It definitely adds tone and like flavors your bass, but like in my opinion, in like such a good way. If you're playing like rock, punk, heavier stuff, I like it. I could imagine it's a little bit too much if you're just clean, like studio guy playing on like pop records or like
Right.
country stuff or something. Well, I mean, even that you could probably make it work, but um, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know, man. That's every pedal has its own rabbit hole, and you can get as wild or
Or not
boring
wild
as you
as you
want.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. I like pedals that have minimal, volume distortion. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I'm like, I wish it did have the clean blend. Wish it did have a mid boost, whatever the fuck.
I mean, it makes sense on bass, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I just don't. Uh, it's just that's another thing too. Is like I'm very in my ways when it comes to
Yeah.
pedal stacking and
Hmm.
all that stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's very compressors are very.
You're stressed about this compressor
I'm not stressed
situation.
about it. It's just like, okay, what the fuck? Why? I just don't understand like why there's so many of like it
Yeah.
what seems to be the same thing. And
Yeah.
I know you could apply that logic to literally every effect, right?
True. Yeah.
Overdrive, distortion, anything. It's
Hmm.
that way. It's like, oh, why is there so many of these fucking things? But a compressor really like, hmm, I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the one that you're just like, dude, this isn't like for guitar
I
a
almost want to
compressor.
buy like an old DoD or Digitech or something just for the look of it, because it's like
Yeah,
they all do the same sound. Like,
exactly. Yeah. Dude, or the old like just the Boss. The
yeah,
old Boss like limiter enhancer or the
yeah,
compressor or whatever it was. Like, yeah, man. Like those make sense to me.
for sure. Me too.
So we'll keep the listeners updated, all right?
Yeah, my compressor journey.
Yeah. Andrew's journey into
I don't know. I
compressors.
got like 2 more days to fuck around with the pedals before we get our new puppy. So I'm
Yeah.
yeah, going to get little Cooper on Saturday, man.
Sick.
He's
You
so
excited?
very excited. I'll let him have an appearance next week on the podcast.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
I know. It's like the only time I can let the dogs down here.
Yeah.
Willow's. I'm just like, I wish she would, because she at the first couple weeks she was just like sitting at the door waiting for me when I went up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing in the basement, man?
By
Yeah,
yourself.
by
Not letting me
yourself,
down
not
there.
letting me by you. Like, what?
Yeah.
How dare you? And it's like I would let her come down and like lay on the floor, but I know the first time I do that, we'll be rolling and she'll fucking stand up and rip the cables and stuff. Like, you know how it is.
Yeah,
She'll be like,
exactly.
"Oh, I see that you have your headphones on. Let me zoom me through all your cables." Like,
Exactly. Let me rip those off your head real quick.
yeah. So,
Or like you start talking and it's because you've never just, like you're in it's a weird situation. You're in the basement
yeah,
talking and they're like
yeah.
the dog's going
She's
to be
like,
like,
"What is going on?"
"Are we playing?
Yeah,
Are we playing right now? What is
yeah.
this?"
I hear Dad, and I cannot get to him.
Yeah, and it's freaking me out. Well, I'm
So,
excited to see the puppy
me too, man.
and hear about your compressor journey
Well, thank you.
on the next episode.
Thanks to
But
everybody for watching again. It's been
yeah,
awesome response and feedback.
and
So,
we're working on some guests and some new stuff.
yeah,
We just wanted to hop on and just kind of like go over our little
talk shop a bit, bud.
our little journey into Guitar Center and just like honestly vent kind of some shit to each other about like pedal journey and tone stuff. And it seems like other people go through the same thing and are interested in this shit. So
Oh, yeah.
that's what's going on in our brains right now.
Yeah. Making this a
So
gear podcast. I'm going to talk about compressors for 3 hours next week.
exactly.
Not really.
No. 4 hours.
4. That's awesome.
All right.
Oh, hell
Well,
yeah.
let's wrap it up.
All right.
Yeah. Let us know feedback on this thing, guys.
Yeah.
Hit us up on Instagram or leave us comments and likes and stuff on YouTube or whatever. I've been getting a lot of like text people tell me that like it's awesome, which is cool because it's coming from like friends and family. But like if you're a stranger, also let us know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or what do you want to hear us talk about, man? We're open to suggestions about whatever. So let us know what's up.
Hell yeah. All right.
Cool.
See
All
you
right.
next week.
Cheers.
Peace.
Later.